Okay, so today's question is basically, I think it's from 2006. It's a junior cert question based on a camera. Nice one to get used to, particularly to do with these sort of curves here. So basically, again, this is, if you look at this, this is a half of a cylinder and it's been cut by a sloped surface. So what we're going to do is this shape here is going to become an ellipse in one of the views. So if you look down from the top, it's going to look like a semicircle. If you look in from the front, though, we're going to see an ellipse. If you look in from the side, we want to see it as an edge view. So again, we're just continuing on looking at this today. And we did do a camera maybe last week sometime, but it wasn't the same one. It didn't have a sloped surface. So in case you're looking and I'm going to, is this not the same as what we did? This bit here is the difference. So this surface here is really what we're working at. If we read through the question, it says draw an elevation, end view, and plan. It doesn't ask for a true shape, which is unusual with this type of question. Typically, question 1 in the junior cert asks for that, but this one doesn't. So that's fine. So if we look here, we see our height is 100. Our depth is 80 and our length is 130, so it's not a massive question. We've nothing extra to put around it, so we come down maybe about 100 and let's see if I can put it easily. We come down maybe 130. Right, that might give me a bit of space to zoom in maybe a little bit more. Okay, so that should be perfect. Okay, so we draw our ground line across as normal, and typically what I said as I normally do is I would draw roughly a space for each view. So our length is 130, so 45 resets where we work. Perfect. Our height is 100. Oops, I'm just taking the line there. Anyways, 100. Okay, I'll extend my line across for my end view. Try to straighten that up there again. Okay, so we draw our plan, we leave a gap of maybe about 20. And then our depth is 80. Okay, so my space for my plan view. And now we'll go up at 45 degrees. And we have my end. So straight away I've got quite a few marks because I've constructed a bit of each view rather than leading to the end and running out of time. Now in reality in this question you have to do bits of each view to solve other views typically. So I'd have to do an end view, for example, to solve the front view of the curved shape and also a plan view. So we'll start off anyways and we'll fill in as much of the front view as we can. I'll use a slightly different colour, slightly different pink just so that it stands out. So if we look at the front, we know on this side we come up 60. And we know that the main height of the object is 80. There is a flash then and sort of another edge that sticks up then after that. So that's that, and we know by looking at it that if we come in, let's just say 45 here, it's going to give us a center point for our circle. And we looking at it here, we come up 40 for that. Okay, there's my center point, my circle. So maybe I'll do my circles first. So we have a radius of 30, we have a radius of 20, and we have a radius of 10. So what I'll do is I'll mark my 10, my center point, my 20, and my 30, so I know where to put my compass on. I'm going to do these in a black at this stage because I'm happy that nothing's going to change about them. So here's the outer part of my lens. Okay, so radius 30. Radius 20. And finally radius 10. Now the 10 one is difficult to draw, and in fairness that was my fault that it slipped, because what I should have done, actually I thought I'd done at the start, is make sure that they're level. Okay, so a little bit of typics, so fix that. So without having them level, it's very hard to get them accurate. So what I'll do is I'll just take a small bit of typics, because I'm doing it in a marker, and I'll try to just make that a little bit less. But anyways, it's a good lesson in why it's important to keep the two of them level. So there's basically my outline of that, and then we have a radius 20 here for this side. So I was going to actually go 20 and 20 is 40 and draw it, but actually what I'll do is I'll draw it and plan and project it up. And we have to look carefully here just to see how far in is that. So if we look at that, that's level with this, right? So that must be level with the 45. So I'll take my pink, and just being careful there, trying not to get typics on my set square. we can draw this outline here then as a result. So I'm not going to worry too much about the top part of it on this side, but I will worry about the flash. So from the flash we know that it's in 20 and in another 40. So in 20 and in another 40. Okay. So our flash is basically what I'm referring to as the flash, basically the upright bit. That's the way cameras used to have a sort of a pop-up bit that you slide up for the flash. Okay, so there's most of my front view that I can do done at the minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project out my various sizes. Okay. I'm going to dab this because I left it on quite wet. Okay, so that should be okay. So project down these. So again, the best practice is always to bring down as many lines as possible, because if you accidentally forget to use them, at least you'll have brought down lines for them. So the other thing that I need to do is I need to draw a line across here, make a crosshairs out of it, and again this point will be useful, this point will be useful, this point will be useful. And mine may be a tiny bit inaccurate, and that's mainly just due to the thickness of my marker. So if yours looks slightly more to the left or the right, that wouldn't mean that you were incorrect. So they're basically all the points that I've brought down. So the first thing that I have to realise is basically the back is the piece closest. So this is going to be the back of the camera. So from the back of the camera, basically it sticks out 30. Sorry, 30. Okay, and then we have the 50 for the front. Right. So I'll measure across my 30. And I'll construct the main back part. So when we look down on top, we can see that we have an edge here that comes out to meet the flash part here, and the flash itself is in 10. So we'll go down another 10, and again we'll draw a line across here. And now what I'll do is I'll start to figure out where the flash is. So the flash itself was here and here. So I'm bringing down my lines from this view, and there basically is the flash, or the bit that's popping up at the back if you're not sure what I'm talking about by the flash. This here is this cornered edge here. And now I have this bit here on this side done. Now, as I said, I'm not going to worry too much about the left-hand side just for the minute. What I'm going to take next is basically the lens. So the lens, we can see, sticks out a distance of 30 and then 20, and then actually goes back in 10 for the bit that's inside. So we'll measure 30, measure 20, and then come back in 10. And again, we'll draw light lines across here for the minute, and we'll worry about which is the right one then after that. So this is the widest part coming out. So this section here. So again, let's see if I have a colour pencil. I did. This is orange. Okay, this is a very, very quick shade, but it'll just help you for the video. So if that outside part of the lens is that, that's that, which was basically this surface here. Okay, so that shows up on the visual light. So what we're going to do is maybe take the front part then maybe to be a pink. So again, we say this bit here is pink. Pink probably wasn't the best colour to pick in hindsight, considering the projection lines are pink. But anyways, you can see what I mean. So basically that's this edge here. Okay, and then we have the inner lens that goes back in the 10mm. So that's going to appear as hidden detail, because that's inside in the camera. So we're happy enough with that. We're happy enough with that. And so now I'm just going to looking down on top, I'm going to see, well, can I give a go at this? So if I look down from the top, that's going to appear as a semicircle, okay, because it's a cylinder. The fact that it's sloped, we wouldn't notice looking down at the top. We know it's radius 20, so what I need to do is measure in 20 here. So what I'll do is I'll take my compass. Again, what I'm doing here now, where I got cut out the last time, I'm making sure the two of them are level, as close to level as possible. In your case, it'll be a matter of adjusting in and out the lead to get it to be level. But once you have it set up, the trick is make sure you go for a small radius. So no point trying to figure out is it level when it's far apart. You want to have it close together to see if it's level. So mine actually could have been in a small bit more. So there's my radius 20. And then I know that this will come across to me this. oops, a little bit too far. The back will be continue on like so. And then there's this bit of a groove here in it. So I have a 10mm groove in, and then it's 20 wide. 10 and then 20. Okay. So what I don't know is exactly how far up here it is when it stops, and I think I'm going to need my end view to solve that. But other than that, I think I have my elevation solved. Now there may be a little bit of hidden detail I haven't thought about yet. I'll come back to that at the end. So I'm going to bring up the outline here of the edge first. So we're happy with that. Okay, there is going to be a curve here for the semi-ellipse, but we won't worry about that for the minute. And then we'll bring up our distance of 10 and our distance of 20. Okay, so now I have basically these two bits here found. This is here, and I can have me in the outline. So what I'm missing basically is this U sort of shape that's going to come up here. I'm sorry, that should be heavy. It's fixed. Okay, so we're happy enough now. Most elevation done, most of the plan done. A little bit of work to do on both, but very little. So we're going to project up this view here. So I'll use my light color again, maybe for my projection. Okay, so any edge that hasn't already been brought out to here, I'm going to bring out. And then bring up at 45 degrees. That's how I'll run it. Okay. So I'll bring these up. Now, if you happen to look at the solutions online, you'll see that they did the view on the left hand side. Both are perfectly correct. The most important thing that if the back is here, that must be the back, therefore this must be the back. And the back is always the edge, so if it's the opposite way, it'll be flipped around the opposite side. So we'll take the lines across now from elevation, so maybe I'll do them in the slightly different color pink. So again, that point will have to come across. The crosshairs here is critical to get all the tops and bottoms of these points. And the lens is actually probably the easiest bit to do and visualize. So I might start with that first. But they're all the points that I have. So again, even if that was as far as I got in the exam, I'd have crisscrossed a number of lines. I'm not sure which are heavy yet, but I do relatively well. So here is this edge here. Now, I'll just maybe take, I'm not 100% sure, so I want to take a blue and just put it in so that I know that that edge is there. That may all be heavy. I'll have to figure that out in a second. But what I wanted to do first was the lens. So the initial part of the lens comes out to the 30mm line, which is here. Okay, so that's that. So that was basically my orange surface that stuck out of my camera. Okay, I then have my, when we use pink, as I said, it wasn't the best option to use. With this pink surface here, I want to get that in. So this will basically be across from here. So that's like so. So that's when we look at the end view of the lens, it's going to look like basically two rectangles, because cylinders look like rectangles in certain views when we're looking straight at the edge of them. So what we have here basically is our lens face. So quite a bit of work there done now. So first thing we have to think about is, right, we're standing on this side. So if we're standing on this side, what's going to happen? That will basically mean that we're going to see this edge first, and then this bit here is hidden detail. So I may have been slightly incorrect in actually heavying that in. So this edge here will be solid, but actually have a 60-degree mark to put in. So I need my 60-degree sets first. I'll do this in a blue. And we know that it touches this point here. So I'll draw that up. I'll bring it down to meet that. Okay, so that's basically my surface. That looks to come down quite a lot, but that seems to be the right. That's the top point, which is here. That comes down, so that must be correct. And that's the edge that it has to. Yes, okay, so that's perfect. So that surface there is basically this surface here drawn. Okay, so what I'll do now is this bit here should have been hidden detail because it'll be in the way. This bit here can technically be heavied in. This edge here is probably also going to be hidden detail. Yes. So we can start to construct some of the back as well. So this here is my slope surface. And this is the back. So I'll heavy that down. And this here would be the hidden detail for the hidden detail here for this edge. And this here, now that may or may not be slightly different on years depending on how close that is. I'm going to bring that just across again at a slightly different height. I think that will be slightly higher. So that will be the hidden detail for my flash because I can't see it. Okay, but I think that's sort of the flash part, that's the sloped surface. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish off the sloped surface and have it done. So this bit here is the sloped surface. So I now know this depth here. So what I'm going to do is bring this down, bring it down at 45, bring it across. Okay, and what I'm drawing basically is this bit here. So that will be heavy, 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 and that will be that here. So that's that part completed. So that bit is that part here, and that bit there. So we'll shade that maybe in a blue just so that we can see the bits that we need to work on. I probably shouldn't have used such a dark blue because I need to draw my lines up. But that's basically my sloped surface here. So we're happy enough with that. So what we're going to do now is, again, I may have some hidden detail to work out, but we're going to try to figure out this curved part here. So the key is to split this into equal parts. Now 60 and 30 will be typical, but I think 45 again is enough because it's a relatively small circle. So I'm going to draw this in sort of a grey. Hopefully that can be seen. Right, I'll maybe write the colours in a brighter colour. Okay, so I'm going to call this 0.0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. So I split it basically into cap and star 0.4 points. So what I'll do is I'll bring these edges. 1 and 3 should be level, and 2 will be out on its own. So basically this is where 1 and 3 comes across to meet here. 2 comes across to meet here, and 0 and 4 are already on this line. So if I go up with these ones here first, this is where, because these are on the sloped surface, on the blue surface, this is where 0 and 4 are. I need to bring these up again to the blue sloped surface. Up to here. Okay, so this is where 1 and 3 are. And this line was already used, so this is at the bottom, so this is where 2, which would make sense, because if you look at this, this would be where 2 would be, this would be where 0 would be, this would be where 4 would be, and then roughly 1 and 3 would be down there. So that's sort of what I'd see when I look down and plan, and that's roughly where I'd expect to see them when I look down in this view. So what I'm going to do now is bring these across this way. Okay, and 0 and 4 already brought across. So if I bring up 0 and bring it across, there's 0. If I bring up 1 and say, well, I know 1 has to be on that line, there's 1. 2, and I know if I follow this around, I should draw that as a purple. That's where 2 is, so that's where 2 is. 3, and then 4 is on that line and that line. So I have basically my various points there. So what I'll do now is I'll sketch that in as best I can. If I thought that was a little bit too far, what I could do was probably put in another one. Well, maybe 60, and I could probably do 60 and 30 either if I wanted. But I think that's sufficient if you're relatively okay at drawing my curves. So that's basically the question done. The last bit I just have to figure out is what should be solid here and what should be hidden. So this bit here will be solid because I will see this edge if I'm standing the sloped surface. So I'm happy enough for that to be solid. This edge here will exist, but my solid line would have overtaken it. So that will be that solid edge. Or maybe it'll be hidden. No, I'd say it'll be a solid edge. It's hard just to tell if that blends in as a perfect curve. So this bit here then, these two bits here will become hidden detail. So we'll take our typics again and we'll make these a little bit of hidden detail. Okay, so again, if this was with your rubber, you could do this with your rubber. Them bits stick out, and I think that's the question done as such. Hidden detail found here. Yes, I think that's the whole thing done. So that's the question there. A little bit of working out, but again, don't get bogged down on what you couldn't do. Do the bits that you can. Obviously, if you're able to get all that, that would be a perfect question. But if you couldn't get it all, every bit of line that you get in gets you marks. Every line, even if it's not heavied in or if it's not put in with hidden detail, gets you marks. So the more you get in, the worst you can do is leave it out. Again, if you weren't still not sure about this, you could sketch it in with this sort of shape. But give it a go and see how you get on.